And so we're going to begin this morning with Joe Biden's extremely emotional personal interview with Stephen Colbert on The Late Show. Biden admitted he has doubts whether he is ready to run for president after the recent loss of his son Beau to brain cancer. And he was candid, recalling one of their final talks.
He said, Dad, I know how much you love me. He said, you got to promise me something. Promise me you're going to be all right. Because no matter what happens, Dad, I'm going to be all right. Promise me. This is a kid who I don't know what it was about him. He had this enormous sense of empathy. And I'm not making this up. I know I maybe sound like a father. I hope I... Anyway, but it's real.
It sounds like you love him, sir.
Oh, geez. I mean, look, I don't think any man or woman should run for president unless, number one, they know exactly why they would want to be president, and two, they can look at the folks out there and say, I promise you, you have my whole heart, my whole soul, my energy, and my passion to do this. And I'd be lying if I said that I knew I was there. I went out to Denver and I landed at a military base and I met a whole group of military families, which is not unusual, on a rope line about 100 yards from the aircraft, and it was going great. And a guy in the back yells, Major Beau Biden, Bronze Star, sir, served with them in Iraq. And all of a sudden, I lost it. How could you? I mean, that's not. I shouldn't be saying this, but you can't do that.
Sir, I just want to say that I think that your experience and your example of suffering and service is something that would be sorely missed in the race. Not that there aren't good people on both sides running, but I think we'd all be very happy if you did run, and if you don't, I know that your service to the country is something we should all salute. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, like you said, a human being. That was about as real as it gets.
And that's Joe.
That is him.
And that's why
we want him to run.
Know him, call him Joe. I mean, he's Willie. He's an incredible guy.
Whatever your politics, whatever you're feeling about the Obama administration, you ought to go online and watch that full interview. It's remarkable, just a dad talking about his son. And I don't know if there's anyone else on television who could have conducted it with more empathy than Stephen Colbert, who lost his father and his two brothers. Ironically, the anniversary is today of the plane crash that took their lives 41 years ago. So there was a real connection immediately as they talked about the loss in their family.
And Mike, you've known Joe Biden for a very, very long time.
You know, what you saw last night, we said it earlier, it's in this atmosphere, in this political environment that we're all witnessing. He's a genuine human being. That is who he is. And who among us has not been damaged at some point in what life brings to the table? And he represents that. He symbolizes it. I mean, he's a wonderful guy. He's just a wonderful guy, and you're absolutely right about Stephen Colbert and the tone and the tenor of the interview. Stephen Colbert will go on to have many, many wonderful shows. There's no doubt about that. None as fine as last night.
I agree.
Richard, your thoughts?
You know, the word you hear this whole season is authentic. Mm-hmm. That was beyond authentic. That was raw. And I'll leave to others to decide, the politics. So you almost want to put it aside. It is just so human, and it so pierces through the normal stuff that all of us and everybody else brings to what we saw. It was rare. I mean, at times it's riveting. It's almost slightly awkward, because even privately, I don't know how many of us would ever bear that much, but to do that on national television, quite extraordinary.
On a day like today, it certainly makes you look at the whole field differently, and I'd like to see a minute.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Democrats would now, a lot of Republicans would. There was a new poll out yesterday, a CNN poll, and you can look at the national poll showing Joe Biden now with 20%. I think more interestingly for Democrats, digging into those polls, Hillary Clinton's lead against Republicans has vanished. Ben Carson is actually well ahead. We're showing you the Democratic side, but in a head-to-head matchup, Ben Carson is now ahead of Hillary Clinton. Jeb Bush, within the margin of error, is ahead of Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump is tied with Hillary Clinton. And except for Donald Trump, the other two candidates actually are doing very well with women. Hillary Clinton has lost her advantage among women in general election matchups.
Amazing.
And all of this has happened over the past month. It has been an extraordinary change. Everybody's been looking at Donald Trump. We're starting to look at Ben Carson. But as far as the actual race on the Democratic side, it's extraordinary what has happened over the past 3 to 4 weeks, which can only lead you to believe that's why Hillary Clinton finally came out and did something she didn't want to do,
right,
and apologized. The question now, as you look at these polls, is whether she waited about a month too long.
Or just looked too much like she didn't want to do it. And I know we still have Mark Halpern and Michael Steele to get to, but for the first time all cycle, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is leading Hillary Clinton in polls out of both New Hampshire and Iowa. A new Q poll released yesterday shows Sanders ahead of Clinton 41% to 40% in Iowa. And it comes just days after an NBC News Marist poll showed him up 9 points in New Hampshire. Here's how Sanders reacted to the news yesterday.
Yes, I'm stunned. Look, we have a message that I believe from day one was going to resonate with the American people. And the message is there's something wrong in this country when the great middle class continues to disappear. Almost all new income and wealth goes to the top 1%. When millions of families cannot afford to send their kids to college. So I thought that those issues would resonate. But did I think they would resonate as quickly as they have? The answer is no.
Mark Halpern, a lot of people are stunned, not only around this table, but in the Democratic Party as well. But I want to go back to those numbers before in the head-to-head matchups with Hillary Clinton. With Ben Carson, a guy who's got me scratching my head, and I'm a Republican, Ben Carson is ahead of Hillary Clinton, 51 to 46%. I know it's September, but September ain't August. September ain't July. We're after Labor Day, and suddenly we're in regular season here. Jeb Bush ahead of Hillary Clinton, 49 to 47. Donald Trump tied with Hillary Clinton, 48 to 48. And you look at those top two lines, you dig into those numbers on the poll. The most remarkable thing is that Ben Carson and Jeb Bush have erased any advantage that Hillary Clinton has among women.
Here's where I think we are with Hillary Clinton, right? You look at all those numbers. If she's going to be the nominee, if she's going to be president, she's going to have to win ugly. And I think the question is, can she win ugly? Bill Clinton can win ugly. George W. Bush could win ugly. Can Hillary Clinton win this, even though as her own campaign concedes now, this is going to be tough and hard?
Why do you say she has to win ugly now? What's happened?
Well, I mean, look, she's threatened in Iowa and New Hampshire. She's still got very good favorability with Democrats, but with the general election electorate, she's in a lot of trouble. You know, Joe Biden likes to say, don't compare me to the almighty, compare me to the alternative. At this point, her path to the nomination, her path to the White House is not winning over a lot of new people, not selling herself anew, although she's going to do a lot of Ellen-like TV interviews to try to do that. It's saying to people, you want me or do you want the socialist? Do you want me or do you want the billionaire developer? That is her path, and that's ugly. Now, a lot of politicians know how to win ugly, but she's not done it.
Yeah.